Now we are back in mobile auth services file and this mobile auth services class. And here we have a small function, but really it's very necessary function. So what it does is that the name specifies check authentication. What it does, whenever a user opens our app, it will first check that user is already authenticated or not. If the user is authenticated, then it will return true, else it will return false. So the next function which we do need to add up here is check authentication and navigate. We will go with static check authentication and navigate. So let's look. Here we will introduce a bool. User is authenticated equals to check authentication. And next come up, user is authenticated. Then we want to execute one function, else we do want to execute another function. So if the user is authenticated, then we want to navigate the user to the home screen, else we want to navigate the user to login screen. So we will go with navigator.push context. So we do want to go with build context here. Build context, and we have to add this required parameter. Here it's going to be page transition. The child, it's not going to be push, it's going to be push and remove until. The child, it's going to be login screen. Sorry, it's not going to be login screen, it's going to be bottom nav bar rider, and the page transition is going to be right to left. Page transition right to left. So I think I'm missing something. Oh yeah, the route, it's going to be false here. So we will add a comma here, route, and it's going to be false. And here, good to go. Let's add a comma here. So we will copy the same, and here we will paste after this colon, and here instead of bottom navbar, it's going to be login screen. Let's have a look. So here, if we are authenticated, then we will go to bottom navbar, else we will go to login screen. So let's create a stateful class here. Inside common, we're gonna go to view and add a new folder, and it's going to be sign in logic. And here let's create a file, sign in logic.stf. That's going to be a stateful widget, sign in logic. We will introduce init state here. So inside this init state, we do want to introduce this line of code, that is widgets binding.instance.add post frame callback. So what it's gonna do, whatever request or functions we gonna add inside of this, so after the screen build, it's gonna execute, not in between screen build. So I highly recommend that you go with this one. Instead, just go like paste all navigations and other codes inside your init state. You just add this line of code, and inside it just write whatever codes you want to execute. So here we'll go with mobile auth services dot check authentication and navigate. Yeah, And here we do want to introduce to a scaffold. Body is going to be center, child, image, asset image, and it's going to be asset slash images slash Uber logo dot png. Let's head over to asset folder, asset images, then comes up Uber logo back, Uber. It's going to be only Uber logo slash uber.png. Let's save it. It's suggesting that we go with a const. Yeah, we will go with a const here. And the background color, it's going to be black. So let's import colors file. And we can't go with const here. Let's go with const. And good. So what's the entire logic? It's here. Whenever the first screen which we will land when we open our app is this sign in logic screen. So the moment we are here in sign in logic screen, it's gonna go to mobile services, check authentication and navigate file. It will check for authentication here. It will check for authentication and it will check that user is authenticated or not. If it's true that the user is authenticated, then it will send us to the home screen, else it will send us to login screen. So now let's implement login codes inside our login file, the login screen and OTP screen. So I will head to common, view, auth screens. I will come up in login screen and then I will search for the elevated button. Where are you? Text form field. Yeah, I am here in the elevated button. And here I will write some logics. So first comes if mobile number controller dot text dot is not empty. Set state is going to be login button pressed equals true, and then come up context dot read mobile auth provider dot update mobile number, and the mobile number is going to be mobile number controller dot text dot trim. So this trim basically removes whatever white spaces or space bar space you add up. And the next thing is going to be mobile auth services dot receive OTP. Context we do have, and here we will pass the OTP. Ampersand. We also do need to add the selected country code, so it will come up selected country code and then the mobile number. And let's end this with a semicolon. Let's save it. So we want to extract this entire thing inside a function. We will come up here and write a function named login and paste all of this here. So here in elevated button, we will just call login. Yeah. And coming up next, we will head over to OTP screen, and inside this, not this elevated button, we want to come down in pin code text field, and here on complete, we want to execute a function that is mobile auth services dot verify OTP, and the OTP is going to be OTP controller dot text dot frame. Okay, so yeah, we are good. So in verify OTP, let's check the logic once again. Okay, it will navigate us to bottom of navbar. Instead, it should come up in sign in logic. So instead of navigating to bottom navbar, let's come up in sign in logic. Check authentication, yeah, it's good. And check authentication and navigate, yeah, it's again good. And receive OTP, let's see where it navigates to OTP screen. Yeah, it's good. Now we do have our emulator ready, so let's check it out. So the moment you will be entering your phone number here and then press this continue button, you will notify that there is an error. So let's clear this console and press this continue button. So here we do have an exception that phone number is null. So previously we have forgotten to add this phone number field. So let's ignore this right now. We will uncheck this uncaught exception and add this, like uncomment this line, and you must add this phone number field. And let's reboot our app, or you can say restart our app. Now we will again check this uncaught exception. Come up here, we will enter the phone number and press continue. And here we are in our OTP screen. Let's enter the OTP. It's 123456. So here we are in our login screen, or in our home screen of Rider application. So let's do one thing. Let's close the app and try it again. Here at first we will make sure that in home we do have sign in logic. Restart our app, and yeah, we are here in home screen. Now we will close our app. As you are authenticated now, I will close our app and restart our app again. And here our app is installed and we have directly navigated to home screen and it's working perfectly. It's in sign in logic. It's first checking that user is authenticated or not, and if the user is authenticated, move it to the home screen, else move it to the login screen. It's working great.